have a wedding today, and like I said, I saw a dead bird on the floor, and it had me thinking, like, right, like, whilst people celebrate, some people are celebrating, some people are mourning, right? But the thing is, it's like, without Christ, we're dead. We're nothing. We're not alive. But with Christ, we're going to feast and have a banquet, and we are described as like the bride of Christ. So it's like we're going to have our celebration, we're coming to meet Christ, we're going to have our feasting time, and all of this that we're doing right now is like preparation for that moment. You know, like boyfriend and girlfriend, you're preparing for that time when you get married. It's like whilst we're on earth, we are preparing for that time, that moment. And it's like, yo, you have to be ready to meet your maker, you know. That's the thing that keeps like dawning upon me. Like, we have to be ready to meet our maker, be ready to meet Jesus Christ. And am I ready? I think to myself, am I ready? There's a lot of things I want to accomplish. Not just worldly things, but things of God. Like, He's placed a lot of things in my heart that He wants me to do, or I feel like He wants me to do. And it's like, I don't want to miss out on doing them things. So it's like, you have to make sure you use your time wisely. So when I was thinking about that bird on the floor, I was thinking to myself, listen, at any moment, any of us could fall. At any moment, any of us could be called back home, you know? So it's like, we have to make sure all the time that we spend is wise, and all the time that we spend is taken accordingly, and we spend that time wisely. But that's just me. So I appreciate walk and talk, you know? And like, listen, yeah, I honestly think about my time that I spent in the world. Like, that much time I spent in the world, I spent like 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer, because to be honest, I wasn't really saved as a kid. Like, I went to church, a lot of you know, we went to church, but we didn't actually know about Christ. You feel me? So we spent a lot of time, basically, sitting in church, soaking in the word, and there's a benefit to that, don't get twisted, but we didn't know Christ. It's like when you come to Christ and you realize, frick, I've actually spent so much time raving, going out, having sex with girls, doing whatever I want to do. I mention the two always because, to be honest, that's the main ones that we all can think about, right? But it's like we spent so much time in the world, like, trying to do madness, trying to enjoy life, trying to have a life, apparently, but we were actually dead. That's the crazy thing. That's what I'm saying. When I think about life and death, I start thinking about how much time I spent away from God, and I think to myself, raw, like, Christ actually saved my life. Because if I think about it, I was going somewhere, I was going somewhere you don't want to be going, do you feel me? So I kind of have to let's thank the Lord and say, listen, what, Lord, like, I thank you, like, for saving me and opening my eyes. I think that's the main thing. When your eyes get open, you realize all that we have around me is temporary. Everything that we have around us is all temporary happiness. But a lot of people don't even have, they have insurance for their car, they have insurance for their house, they have insurance for their mobile phone, they have insurance for everything. But if you ask them what their insurance is for afterlife, they haven't got one. They want to choose not to believe in it because they can't see it, but you can't see the wind. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, literally, I just had a quick encounter with one of the guys at the game shop. Very quickly went on to religion. I don't know how I got there because I didn't start religion, but he started telling me about religion, he started telling me about Islam and Christianity, and it's crazy. Do you know what? As he was speaking, I didn't feel like it was time to speak to him about Christ. I didn't think it was the right time. I felt like I had to know more before I could say something. Like, if I knew more, I could be very direct in what I had to say. So I kind of left it and said, I won't say anything just yet. Like, I felt like the Spirit was saying, don't say anything just yet. There's a time that's coming when you need to say something. And I learned that this morning as well when I was talking to my boy Sam. And he came to speak to me about God. And I thought to myself, and he was talking to me about his faith and obviously about what he believes now. And I realised that all the times beforehand, I tried to push a conversation, it didn't flow. But the moment that he started a conversation, it's working for him. And I realised that sometimes the Spirit will tell you and guide you when you need to shut up and when you need to speak. And a lot of times, I haven't been listening to the Spirit, I've just been going, I'll evangelize. But sometimes evangelism, listen, you don't even say anything, you know. There's sometimes when you just go somewhere, you meet someone, you speak to them, like, you don't say anything, you know. Like the shopkeeper today, like I said, he's there all the time. I can pop into that shop anytime I want. But if I get to know him first, it's a different type of evangelism. I'm not just giving him the gospel and leaving. I love Andrew Fuller's sermon, 2-minute sermon on one night stand. Basically, you know, we sometimes give the gospel and just leave. And I kind of like that because, you know what, it made sense. And you know what? Sometimes we do that as Christians. We kind of give the gospel and then we just leave them to it. You know, giving it to them raw and left them to it. One night stand kind of thing. So, I mean, yeah, sometimes the Spirit will just tell you, just keep quiet, like, listen. Hear what he's saying. Because in what he was saying, there was a lot of, I don't want to say anything, but there's a lot to pick up from. And I think further conversations, I'll be able to give the gospel appropriately. And, you know what I'm saying? And give it at due time. So, yeah, anyway, deuces.